Hello?
Hey, Mom.
Hi, how are you?
So, I had this idea for this big adventure. Have you heard of the 7 summits?
Like Mount Everest and Kilimanjaro?
You and Dad don't have like a bunch of money sitting around. Like, you want to just like send me to like so I could do the 7 summits.
What do you mean by a bunch of money?
I got like $160,000.
Do you have $140,000 or $160,000? She said maybe $20, yeah.
Okay.
Will that help?
Yeah, let me call you back. Okay. Thanks, Mom. People have been climbing the 7 summits since 1985, when Dick Bass became the first person to do it. It's a simple concept. You climb the highest mountain on each of the world's 7 continents. Mount Everest, Kilimanjaro, Mount Elbrus, Aconcagua, Denali, Puncak Jaya, Mount Vinson. I assume it's probably a wonderful and fairly epic adventure, but it costs about $150,000, not including flights. Now I'm more of a, what can we do with $150 type of guy. I'm lucky to live in a place where I can see mountains every day when I walk my dog, and they're not exactly Mount Everest. But the last time I checked my bank account, I was not exactly Warren Buffett. So one day I said, F it, I'll just make up my own 7 summits. I picked out the 7 mountains I saw most often on my dog walks. Point 6, Stewart Peak, Mount Jumbo, University Mountain, Lolo Peak, Blue Mountain, and Black Mountain. 7 summits from my house, all human powered. It would be an incredible adventure. Probably. I hiked the first one with my mom.
I don't understand. I'm listening.
Over this pipe here.
Okay.
She was in town visiting.
Okay, tell me what you want.
So, what's your name?
Kathy Leonard.
And who are you?
I'm Brendan's mom.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Can you look at Mount Jumbo and then turn back and say, we'll bivvy here and go for the summit in the morning?
We'll bivvy here and go for the summit in the morning.
What are we doing today?
We are going to summit Mount Jumbo.
Okay. Are you worried about anything?
No,
What kind of equipment did you bring for this?
a hiking pole and some
Okay.
water.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
It's going to be fun.
Okay. So when I was a kid, my mom took me to the library all the time. I read tons of books. One of my favorite kinds of books was a series in which on almost every page, the reader makes choices that decide where the story goes. That series was called Choose Your Own Adventure. How are you feeling so far?
Oh, good.
Okay. Enjoying the view?
I'm enjoying the view. Yes, it's beautiful.
That's the summit right over there.
On that one.
Yeah.
I just know.
I'm gonna try to do a little 360. Just shuffle
Okay.
this way.
Oh, this way.
Okay, summit view. Yeah. It's like 270. There you go. Do you want to go down and get pastries and coffee?
Sure.
Okay. I think I liked those Choose Your Own Adventure books because it felt like I was going to have a unique experience. Every time I made a choice to go left or to go right, the story changed. Now we start running. So this trail is, I think, what I would call deceptively runnable. It's just enough uphill. I feel like you should be running. It goes on like this for several miles. Down low here is where I think about that I might see a bear for a few reasons. 1, bears live here. 2, the brush is really thick. Trees are really thick. 3, by some water. 4, I saw a bear here last spring. I'd say that is 100% bear scat. This is the last little steep bit of windy trail to the top. I think I have about 100 vertical feet left. Getting tired, but as you can see, the view is pretty sweet too. A guy once said to me, "Don't you think it's funny that we travel halfway around the world to become worldly? And when we get to where we're going, we meet someone who's never left their village, and we think that's so interesting?" I think he was saying that I should spend more time exploring the stuff in my own backyard. Beautiful fall day. I think it's high of 65 today. It's nice to be on a bike path instead of on the highway. Doing a little bushwhacking here because there's definitely something big over there that I may have started the old bear spray out. This may not have been the best idea. It's going right next to a creek, a bunch of bushes with berries on them. Maybe this is where the bears come to chow down in the fall. Let's go ahead and put this back in the... Honestly, I've been hiking the trail for the last couple miles, and I just ran the last bit to the lookout because I thought it'd be more dramatic. So the USGS benchmark is right here under the fire tower. But I actually think this little point over here looks like it's higher than where I'm standing. Now that I'm over here, I don't think this point is actually higher. It's chilly this morning. There are not that many months where you can dress in Missoula for both biking to the trailhead and running. My friend Nick says there are two kinds of people in the world. Those who have fun and those who make their own fun. I'm not so sure there are only two kinds of people in the world, but I definitely tend to try to make my own fun. Just like that, we're out of town. I'm out here at the end of a very narrow dirt road. There is one car in the parking lot. No one's gonna be on this trail all day. And I still lock my bike up with this giant chain. Maybe 4 people will see my bike all day. And if they wanted to, they could just saw the tree off right there and take the bike. This lock, it's like 6 pounds or something like that. It's so heavy. So far, it is not steep. So that lump right there, I believe, is the summit. This is right on my map where I marked that I need to turn off. And lo and behold, there's a little social trail here through a break in the bushes. Well, that trail was too good to be true. It petered out after about 100 feet. So just following this blunt ridge. Thankfully, the vegetation is not super thick. guess I kind of get why people don't come up here, besides the obvious lack of trail. It's a little spooky, the remnants of the old fire here. Also probably worth noting, the summit is home to a couple dozen like pretty big angry black flies. One of the things I think about when I'm riding on a busy road is all the little pieces of garbage and things you see on the side of the road. Flew off a car at some point. Climbing up dirt road, going 4.7 miles an hour now. Helen Keller once wrote that life is either a daring adventure or nothing. No disrespect to Helen Keller, but I think there's some wiggle room there, or at least a spectrum. Some days it is a daring adventure. Other days, you just decide to ride your bike up a big hill you can see from your house. I've been in my granny gear for a solid, 4 or 5 miles now. At some point, it's gonna be slower than walking. So I had planned on running/hiking the last 6.5 miles to the top. This road looks pretty good. And I'm thinking it would be more fun to coast down on a bike than to run down. So I'm gonna keep going with it. 20.67 miles. We're gonna stash the bike here for the rest of the little trip to the summit. So this pretty much just goes straight up for a mile. 1,000 feet and like 1.1 miles. This is gonna be a very direct way to the summit. Not sure how much actual running I will do. So there it is, right there. I don't know if this thing is the actual summit. That lump over there of rock looks like it might be a foot taller. But you can see this ball from my house. Boy, I am totally getting great reception up here. I'm just kidding, that's a National Weather Service radar. I somehow tweaked something in my back yesterday. It's pretty hard to get out of a chair. Not pretty hard, it's pretty hard. It feels bad when I get out of a chair and stand back up. So I don't know how much fun riding 20 miles is gonna be. I think I'll be okay until I try to get off my bike. I decided to not hog all the fun to myself for this one and invite my friend and neighbor, Skander. What? Thanks for wearing the same jacket. The part of me that's really lazy wants to just keep going, but the part of me here doesn't want to piss people off and get shot, potentially, thinks we should go back and ride on the highway. Now well into mile 25 of our approach, thanks to my poor route planning skills. Really looking forward to coasting down this. How do you feel about it?
In the grand scheme of things that might be fun, that wasn't really that fun. But
Was it meaningful? Did you find meaning?
I think I found value.
Value. Yes, a high value bike approach. My compliments to the chef. Bomb-proof security system. just filled up our water bottles out of Carlton Lake. Now we're headed up our Choose Your Own Adventure route to the ridge, and then the North Summit, and then the South Summit. Danny McCaskill would have liked this. There's a famous quote by Yvon Chouinard that goes, "For me, adventure is when everything goes wrong. That's when the adventure starts." I think that's great, and I've had some of those adventures. You like rocks?
I do.
Cool. Me too. But the older I get, the more I think there's something to be said for pure fun. Making up some contrived thing you want to do and going for it. Having good weather, no injuries, maybe a nice sunset, and some laughs. Nobody dies, nobody thought they were gonna die. We get home safe, and we can do it again next week if we want to. It's so nice that I've got just one really people on the summits during this project. Is this a date? 100 years ago, when a journalist asked him why he wanted to climb Mount Everest, mountaineer George Mallory famously replied, "Because it's there." I'm not sure if anyone knows what he really meant, but if you climb to the tops of mountains, or hike, or bike, or run trails, or just explore anything outside, and somebody asks you, "Why do you do it?" Maybe you find yourself thinking along those same lines and saying, "I don't know, why not?" I think this project will cover many thousands of vertical feet of climbing. I think I am now in the last, maybe the final 1,000 feet. So where do you think the summit is? I have, more than a few times, found myself getting excited by lists of adventure ideas.
1, 2, 3, okay, go.
The 50 classic climbs, or 10 best trails, or 100 places to see before I die. But here's the thing, Dick Bass and Frank Wells, who came up with the original idea for the 7 summits in 1981, were just a couple people with an idea. And okay, lots of money. I don't have that much money, but I am a person who can come up with their own idea. I bet you are too.